day, class. I am Teacher Beats, and I will be your music teacher for today. Our topic for this day is all about the historical and cultural background of Afro-Latin American and popular music. Now, take a closer look and study the map. Can you still recall all the 7 continents of the world? That's good! Can you still name all of them and know their specific locations? That's brilliant! So the 7 continents of the world are the following: Africa, Asia, Antarctica, Australia and Oceania, Europe, North America, and lastly, South America. The map shows the different continents around the world. Familiarize yourself on the location of South America and Africa, which are highlighted with a red circle. These 2 continents are very significant because our discussion will focus primarily on the music originated on these 2 continents, the Africa and the South America. Guide questions. Number 1. What are the historical and cultural background of Afro-Latin American and popular music? Number 2. What are the musical styles of the African music? Last question. Where do South America got their musical influences and musical styles? Where is their music originated? All these questions will be answered as we dig deeper and unfold our discussion. This lesson will unfold the historical and cultural background of Afro-Latin American and popular music using facts to explain and explore some key points. Now, let's begin our discussion, which is the historical and cultural background of Afro-Latin American and popular music. Let's begin with the African music. Music has always been an important part in the daily life of the African, whether for work, religion, ceremonies, or even communication. Music and dance are also important to religious events. Singing, dancing, hand clapping, and the beating of the drums are essential to many African ceremonies, including those for birth, death, initiation, marriage, and funerals. However, because of its wide influences on global music, there has been a growing interest in its own cultural heritage and musical sources. So African music is originated in Africa itself and don't have any musical influences on other countries or other continent in the world. In fact, the modern music got its influence by, yes, correct, the African music. African music has been a collective result from the cultural and musical diversity of more than 50 countries of the entire continent. Now, let's proceed to the second part, which is the Latin American music. Latin American music is sometimes called Latin music. It includes the countries that have had a colonial history from Spain and Portugal. Latin America generally consists of the entire continent of South America. So this continent is subdivided into following regions. Number 1, the Andean region. This region consists of the countries around the Andes mountain range in South America, which includes the Argentina, Bolivia, Chile, Ecuador, Peru, and lastly, Venezuela. Number 2, Central American region. This region consists of the central portion of the American continent, which includes Belize, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Panama. Third, we have the Caribbean region. So this region consists of the countries along the Caribbean Sea in the northern part of the continent, which includes Cuba, the Dominican Republic, Guadeloupe, Haiti, Martinique, and Puerto Rico. And the last region is the Brazil region. This region comprises the biggest country of the South American continent, which is Brazil. The music of Latin America is the product of three major influences, which are the following. We have number one, the indigenous. Number two, the Spanish Portuguese. And number three, we have the Africans. There you got it right. African music also influences the music of the South America. At the same time, because of the interracial crossbreeding and migration, the countries of South America were also somewhat commonly populated by five major ancestral groups, which are the following. Number one, the Indian descendants. Indian descendants of the original Native Americans who were the inhabitants of the region before the arrival of Christopher Columbus in the continent. Second, the African descendants from Western and Central Africa. Third, the European descendants, mainly from Spain and Portugal, but also including the French, Dutch, Italian, and British. Fourth are the Asian descendants from China, Japan, India, and Indonesia or Java. And lastly, we have the mixed descendants from the above-mentioned group. We are now done with the historical and cultural background of the Latin America. So now, let us proceed to the last part, which is the historical and cultural background of the popular music. Popular music is a contemporary form of music that appeals to a very wide audience. It often includes the following: the danceable tempo, easy to remember lyrics, and lastly, a simple notation. Popular music is commonly found on the mainstream radio stations across a range of countries and cultures. The origins and influence of popular music can be found in a variety of different musical styles, including the jazzy piano melodies of ragtime. roots of popular music can also be found in improvised rhythms of the jazz era and the orchestras of the big band era. In other words, jazz music is originally influenced by, again, you got it right, the African music. To sum it up, the African music don't have any musical influences to other countries. The Latin American music has its musical influences to various countries, including the African music. And lastly, the popular music has its major influences on the African music. So therefore, African music is very influential in today's music. So there you have it, class. I hope you enjoyed our lesson for today. Before I go, let me leave you this quote by John Paul. Music is life in the very gloomy night of life. Thank you and keep safe. Bye-bye.